Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the tangle Vattaan from CZT Susanne Oetzel. Hope I pronounced all of that right. So this is a neat grid pattern. Actually, it's more on the diamond. So I'm going to start. I'm going to go corner to corner on this, and oh, sure, let's do a little bit of a border. It's sometimes a little bit of a hassle to go all the way to the edge, but at the same time, that is sometimes fun. So it looks like cut a piece out of some patterned paper or something. I just think it's fun to try to create that. Okay. All right. I'm going to go corner to corner. Oh, I can move this way a little bit. All right. Oh, wait. You know what? No, let me finish this way. I was going to say corner to corner, and I was just going to do both. So decide how big you want your sections to be. Oh, a little there. I like to start in the middle and work my way out. And for this one, maybe there. Okay, so going one direction first, and then let's continue this one. Okay, and then same thing. And then I always find it a little easier um, coming this direction because I can kind of gauge, as you put the pen in, if you can visualize the line, you say, okay, yeah, that looks like more of a square than a rectangle. Okay, I'm putting it there. Okay, so we have this. Now, on this next step, as I was playing with this, I was like, wow, it was, you ever do one of those math problems that it just like boggles the brain and it seems so simple. Um, but this was kind of like that. I'm like, why is this not looking right? I did grid this way on the diagonal, and then we're putting lines this way, and I noticed that uh they they skip a row, so it's like here and then nothing and then here, so it's a bigger grid over this. But what I didn't pay attention to was that the lines, so this grid is going to go through the intersections. I had put it like through here because I did my grid differently, and differently meaning I like started it here, so I had the openness was in the center, and I was just like, why, this is hurting my brain. So I wanted to share that with you, so that way you know. So paying attention to this. So I'm gonna use this one, and we're gonna just go do a sort of straight line. I like to go intersection to intersection, and at least going straight through, right, from one to the other. But this way, if your points aren't this is hand drawn. We're not doing on graph paper or any kind of grid thing that's underlying. This is hand drawn, living life without a safety net type of thing. So that's why it's a course correction, if you will. So like going intersection, intersection, it makes it so that way uh, it makes it forgiving. We'll say that. All right. So going, and then you're skipping one. So we're not doing, wherever you want to pick to start, intersection to intersection, right? Skip one and then do. So however big your grid is, just know that you're doing every other one. And then same thing, turning the tile, doing it this way, and then skipping, and then the next one. All right. Yeah, because I was looking, I'm like, why do I had open ones? And I'm like, it was so funny. All right, then, and I do believe this too. You can pick pretty much anywhere to start because I don't think it's not necessarily going to matter. But I'm gonna start here, and we're gonna draw a big box. So we're gonna aura this grid box, diamond, whichever way you want to think about it. Like so. Okay. Pencil. Pencil's trying to get in on the action too early here. Saying like, and well, and here similarly, so we're doing this, so we're going to do these columns. So leave everything else alone. Just these columns. And these right here, of course, are just the little partials. And I always find if you're doing something like this where you have partials, make sure to, take a look and every little bit, even if it's just a little teeny dot, kind of like I did these grid lines here, it makes a difference. Okay, so doing that, and I'm going to say columns, but if this was extended further, we would have this going up all of the other columns. All right, then now in the what we have left here that's open, we're going to aura this triangle. So where the others, we were doing the whole box, this we're just doing, this would be more of a proper aura, because we're auraing that contour. And then same thing here, just watching where, okay, there's the peak, and then having that go down just a little bit. That's why I like to say following the contour, because that's essentially what we're doing when we're auraing. And depending, because sometimes when we're auraing, we're maybe doing an overall shape versus, like for instance, if you're auraing something that has a lot of curves and a lot of movement, you might not do every single one. Okay, last one. So this it kind of gets the eyeballs a little confused, because we have squares, we have a lot of triangles going on, and so just to make sure that I have things in, everything is in the right direction. We're and essentially alternating, a full, big diamond and then triangles, and let's get that to go right to the edge. Okay, last step is where we first aura the entire box or diamond. We're just going to put a nice orb in the center. Of these, and then it's playtime. Yay! But what I mean, to me, what a neat pattern. Even if you didn't do anything else with it, I'd be like a nice fill-in background. It's very, very cool. All right, because sometimes I like to pair things that are more geometric like this with something that's maybe more curvy or more organic. I personally like those kind of pairings. So now for shading, decorating, you have tons of options. I think I'm just going to do shading, just because. Well, and actually that's what I see. Let me look down here a little bit. In the description section, you will find, and that's what I'm going to do. At least for now, because sometimes I do like to go back and forth in my head. In the description section, you will find links to the step outs, both my version and Suzanne's. And she does have some samples on her. And that's two reasons I like to make sure to share those, so that way you see it from the person that that created the tangle. It's just nice to see it from their hand. their step out. And a lot of times like this, they will put in some samples, and that's also nice. Um, well, I do like this look, but I'm almost thinking too, because just looking at all of the options to have fun with decorating this, and I, okay, I'm gonna go with it. Thinking, and I'm looking, like, where is my? Well, it has disappeared again. My little graphic one. Oh, let me look one other place. And there it is. Okay, I'm thinking it might look neat because you could do the same thing. You could shade. This is what Susan pretty much did on, or Suzanne did on her samples. So I'm going to, let's just fill these in. Now, in case you've not watched, I just assume that this is the first time you've ever watched one of my videos. So for those that this isn't the first, well, you then already know that I repeat myself a lot because of that. So this is a great course correction. Sometimes when it comes to the decorating phase, how are we going to play with this? I look for the place where I feel like where maybe I had one of these. Whoa, oops. And and then determine, well, what kind of course correction would be best to fix that place that I don't really like so much. And so shading sometimes will fix it or hide it well enough where it's like, oh, it doesn't really matter. And there are no such things as mistakes in Zentangle. And the fun game is, it's like, well, yeah, it's not a mistake. So how do I make it so I like it and I'm happy with it? Because it's all about you being happy with your work, and that is, and that's it. So filling in, like I said, shading, you could kind of determine, well, will shading take care of it? If not, well, would filling it in take care of it? And so a lot of times that's where I'll start my thoughts on decorating, because it's like, well, if I need to fill it in, well, let's do that first and see where we go. But it's just nice, a good idea to just assess. And if you're anything, well, anything like me, if we're kindred spirits in this, have trouble deciding what to do next, that's why I do that, because it helps. Because then you can go from here, and while you're filling in, there's just all kinds of time to think, okay, well, what do I want to do next? What, how, you know, take a minute, enjoy how it's looking, and then think, well, what can I do after this? And it's just neat. And I like having the contrast. Sometimes in a tangle, I kind of, well, when you look at them, you can kind of rate them like light, medium, dark. So some that are real, like before we did anything, this one, would be light. It's just lines and that's it. And um, there's no contrast. Because even some tangles where you have a lot of lines converging in one place, and before you do anything, there is a bit of a contrast, or ones that you naturally fill in because that's part of the tangle. So this is just super nice because you have all kinds of options to do whatever you want to do with it. And other ways that you could decorate, you could use orbs in any of these sections, straight lines. I was almost thinking in these triangles, you could do like a fan out where all of the lines come from the point, and then I would start down the middle and then subdivide on either side from there, because that would look neat too. So, but sometimes, like I said, just having something like this where there's just a nice balance of contrast is just super neat. Other thing is that because we have all of the squares that we could do, you could put. I think it's fun to sometimes hide the grid lines by doing straight lines. So auraing this line, and you would have to continue it throughout. But we're only limited by our imagination as far as options go. So, super fun tangle. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, would love to have you click the like button. Feel free to share it out, leave comments, and if you like it enough to see more, I would love to have you be a subscriber to the channel. And of course, that is free. I mentioned links to the step outs in the description section, and below those are ways to connect with me. So if you enjoy my style, then I would love to have you, connect. I do classes almost twice a week. It just depends on the week. I have a lot of them that are free. Thursdays are I call it Tangle Time, and join us. We could have taken this tangle. That would have been a good one. I might have to pair it with something and explore it and have fun. And we see how everybody puts their spin and their take on it. We have a lot of fun. If you want to see some of the things that we have done, if you click on my name, that takes you to the kind of like the homepage of this channel, and then you can see my playlists. And I do have a playlist of class replays. So, take a look at the Tangle Times. I do very minimal editing, and I put a warning on there just because this is just me. It's, not a professional, uh, anything as far as, videos and whatnot goes. But you'll get a flavor. Would love to have you join us. And other information about classes are there. We have a wonderful Facebook community, so we'd love to have you join us there if you happen to be on Facebook. And yeah, and yeah, say if you have any other questions or anything, just let me know. I do check very periodically, and yeah. So with that, thanks so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.